All right, howdy. I'm doing a video today to compare and contrast a little bit two pedals that you see in front of you. The first one on the right is my original Ibanez SD-9 sonic distortion pedal, and it's been through a lot over the years, so when I heard that somebody had a new pedal out that is supposed to kind of do the same sound, I wanted to try it out. The one on the left, the Valve Reamer by Lovepedal, is supposed to cover all of the territory essentially from the 808 overdrive through the sonic distortion. That's what I'm comparing it against. I don't like tube screamers myself much because they sound a little bit too dull to me and not open enough. What I use them for primarily, in the 80s, I used that pedal on the right to get distortion sounds from a super clean amp. But I also use it, and what I'm using it for today is to try to boost the front of an SC20H, which is the Marshall 20-watt studio series, and this is supposed to be the one that is kind of a smaller version of a JCM 800. 2204, I guess, is what it would be closest to, but 6 knobs, high and low input. I am, of course, going into the high input, and I just have these two pedals plugged in. Got a Les Paul with stock 490 and 498 pickups in it. And going to try to see what I can get these pedals to do. So here is just the basic amp sound with the guitar in it. And that is fine for playing good hard rock and rhythm tone, But if you're trying to do, 80s metal and things like that, as I was back when I did this, or I actually did some original songs where I wanted a little bit heavier of a sound, but I did not want to go to a more modern Marshall, because at the time I had a 78 model 2203, and it put out about the same exact sound as this one that I'm playing today, and it just wasn't quite heavy enough, so I plugged in my SD-9 that I had used throughout the 80s, and it gave me a pretty cool sound. So I'm going to go ahead and play some, and then I'll turn that one on. You can hear it. This is pretty much how I set it all through the 80s. You can see that the drive and the tone are a little bit less than half, and the volume is a little bit more. And I've got the Valve Reamer set up kind of to match. So we'll do that, and I'll switch back and forth. So one thing I noticed right away, you can really hear the extra noise in that Lovepedal. I'm going to switch over now and just kind of listen to the difference in the noise between the two, and note that I don't have the volume cranked up on either one of them. In fact, the SD-9 is actually a little bit lower on the output. Well, actually a little bit higher, sorry, than the valve reamer is set. So listen to the two when I switch between them. So still not silent, but much quieter than the valve reamer. Also, it seemed like there was an extra little bit of fizziness. I'm going to try to dial that out of the valve reamer a little bit and get them a little closer in tone, and then I'll try the comparison again. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to crank the gain up a little bit on both of them and kind of go for more of like an 80s kind of tone, and we'll see how they do there. There you go. So they're both good sounding pedals. I mean, I don't think I'm going to send the valve reamer back. And it's kind of another flavor, I guess, of a similar sounding kind of pedal, but it is definitely not. I mean, I guess the one thing that it is true is that it does get at least into the gain range of the SD-9, which most of the clone pedals, they're trying to copy the tube screamer, and so they don't get anywhere close, and this one definitely does. So I will give it that. It's a little bit noisy, and I am not a user of gates and hushes and things like that. I just think they strangle the tone too much. So I would probably use it live and not worry too much about it, because it's either going to be on all the time or I'm going to have the volume on the guitar turned off. But I definitely would not call it a faithful replacement of the SD-9. Still, though, worth checking out if you can find it. I don't see too many original SD-9s around, and the Maxon reissue that they did a few years ago, while it looks nearly identical, is not the same circuit inside. It has some visible differences to it, and while I haven't examined that, I can tell you that they don't sound the same. The reissue sounds noticeably duller and less clear than the original, which I hope comes across in this video. That is one of the reasons that I like that pedal, is that it's such a clear sound, because I use a lot of suspended notes and chords, and you know, a lot of I want a lot of individual note definition when I'm playing, even with distorted sound. So anyway, there it is. There's the two of them together. Check it out if you get a chance. Might be worth it as a second kind of flavor for you if that's what you're looking for. Thanks.